The story really starts back when I was 15, growing up here on Maui, and dropped out of high school halfway through ninth grade because of the violence. I didn't actually like the violence and wasn't good learning environment with all that. And and so I ended up taking this apprenticeship for permaculture with a guy named Michael Howden, who um, ended up being another one of my mentors, and he's also no longer with us, but amazing man. And so it was a couple months after that I decided to dedicate my life to trees. I was kind of at that age where I was wondering what I was going to do with my life, and that just made the most sense to me. So that kind of started my journey. I moved out to Kipahulu when I was 16, and that was kind of like the rest of my high school education and college education was getting to plant and observe and propagate and take care of, you know, thousands and thousands of trees, really, and all different kinds of plants, and then things changed, and I ended up moving back to the North Shore on Maui here, and I'd always loved growing trees in pots and propagating and grafting, and that was a big part of what I did in Kipahulu as well. And so when I got over to this side of the island, I was like, I think Maui needs a fruit tree nursery. And I was confused at why no one was doing it already. And then a couple years in, I realized, oh, okay, well, now it makes sense, because one, you got to have the passion for it. You got to have the knowledge. You got to know, what to grow and how to grow it. You got to have some resources to be able to do it. You got to have access to the, plant material, right? All the different seeds and wood and all this kind of stuff. And so I guess just that combination of skills and knowledge and interest hadn't really manifested here on Maui yet. So NatureWorks was born, and this is, I don't know, 13 years ago, maybe. And it was hard to get started. It was a labor of love. But it's so amazing. I'm so grateful now that I persevered, and now we have this amazing fruit tree nursery for Maui and beyond. We're actually shipping off island now to Kauai and Big Island and Lanai, and so yeah, that's how NatureWorks got started. So what sets us apart from other nurseries is, I think, really, one is that I actually can't necessarily know this about other nurseries, but we do really care about what we're doing and supporting local food security and educating. So I think, at least for the nurseries that I've been to, we actually have staff that are really friendly and helpful and happy to walk people around and answer questions. And some of the other nurseries, you just don't get that sort of personal experience with, and ability to really just like talk to somebody about the fruit trees and what we're doing, what we have available, and like that. And then also, as much as so I really love to support diversity. Really, I'm all about diversity. I think it's the aphrodisiac of life, and super important. And nature is so full of amazing diversity, and yet most people are like, what, apples, oranges, pears, cherries, like, they're just sort of familiar with a few basic fruits. And here in Hawaii, we can grow so many different kinds of amazing fruits, and most people just don't know about them. So We do try to carry all of the sort of more commonly known fruits, but we also try to diversify and have available like the most interesting, best varieties of some of these more rare exotics. And so we're really also just always like learning more, what's new, there just seems to always be like new varieties and new things that if I just stay sort of focused on, oh, we got enough, we just keep doing what we're doing, it's working, we'd be missing out on so many amazing fruits. So there's actually a lot of really interesting and exciting new fruits that we've been collecting and starting to grow that we don't actually have available yet. So there's a lot more exciting, good stuff coming. My sort of preferred design inspiration comes from two main sources, and that's a guy named Fukuoka in Japan, who was basically a no-till farmer and grew rice not in water and didn't till, and had phenomenal results. And then also this other guy, he actually put out a movie called Back to Eden, and he also was basically a no-till farmer that couldn't stress enough the importance of mulch, and then also combine that with the permaculture background that I have. And so I honestly, I don't like to overthink it ahead of time. I sort of try to lay out in the general bones of the design, and then allow the landscape to sort of teach me what it wants, and paying attention to just trying a bunch of different things and seeing what works and what doesn't work. But also it's really important for me to pay attention to what the client is saying and what the client is wanting, right? But also paying attention to the specific location and the soil quality, the soil depth, the specific weeds that are present, the different issues that are would affect a landscape or design. So I try to take in as much info as I can before actually creating a design, so that the design itself is as most likely as possible to be successful over time. One really cool thing about this particular site is when we removed the lawn and prepped the soil and then covered it up with mulch after planting, we had this Desmodium ground cover sprout up everywhere. And so it's actually a really great ground cover. It's nitrogen fixing, it's soft, doesn't make stickers. It's just really a nice ground cover. And all we had to do was sort of weed out the grasses and things that were coming up that we didn't want, and all the ground cover basically planted itself and just took over, just dominated everything, which was really cool. Although I've seen this ground cover a lot, and I'd never seen it get as tall as it did. Like it was thick, tall, and it was kind of hard to walk through. And so we started managing it, and that's kind of when we started managing it, and then the other grasses started coming in. So it's been a process, and we have planted some ground covers like thyme and oregano and different kinds of mint, a bunch of different kinds of mint and spearmint. And I mean, every plant in some way is a ground cover, but I think generally we speak of ground cover as there's low growing plants that will cover the ground well. Yeah, so one of the things that I really value and is education, and I've been blessed with some amazing generous teachers, and so I like to I like to, be that for others as well. And so I offer grafting and ear layering classes. I've done pruning classes. I also do like mentorships, take on apprentices. I've been involved with um, the FAM program where, people are being trained on island to, be farmers. And, there's a lot of amazing mentors that also participate in that and teaching all these, eager, interested people who want to participate in farming. Yeah, some of the tricks and secrets that, we've learned over the years, which is really valuable, in my opinion, to learn from somebody who's got experience, but also learned from somebody with experience. So that kind of like, you know, knowledge being passed down from person to person is really, in my opinion, invaluable. So much more valuable than, learning something from YouTube or a book. So we also at NatureWorks Nursery, we we aim to educate people, to be available to answer people's questions and educate people about the different things that are available to grow, as well as some tips as to understanding how to be in a better relationship with your trees and give them what they need. I also offer consultations, on-site consultations all over the island. So people can book a consult with me, and I'll come to your place and answer any questions you have and share, my ideas about like what I would do if that was my place, and things that I think would grow good there, and how to care for the soil, and just all the different things that um, are important to understand when engaging with the land and planting and wanting to grow food, among other things. One of the biggest challenges that I've had with starting a nursery on Maui is land. I mean, the cost of land is absolutely prohibitive for most, young entrepreneurial farmers who are like have the experience or not, but the interest, the passion. It's like, how do you get into a piece of land here on Maui? It's like, unless you have really rich parents or, whatever. It's really challenging. There are some opportunities for leases and different things, but for I've been looking at leases, and for me to want to invest in a property and plant trees, I'm on at least a minimum 30-year lease, because like that's a big investment, and trees take a while to really get going and become fruitful, and for that investment to pay off. So that's really one of the biggest challenges. And right now we've been really blessed to have our nursery on a property. Our landlord is just really, really great guy, and we're so grateful to be at that spot and to have been there as long as we have. And we really hope that we were able to stay there for a while longer, but also need to accept the reality that we may have to move locations sooner than later. So that's always a possibility when you're leasing a property and you don't have a long-term lease. So we're hoping to get a long-term lease and have a location for the nursery to be a more longer-term offering on Maui. And there's a lot of expansion and ways I would like to expand, and I'd like to create a botanical garden that is fruit. A botanical garden of all the different kinds of fruit and all the different varieties, so that people can come and learn and taste and see and smell and buy some trees. And that's something that will happen here. Just a matter of time finding the right place. Top favorite fruit, forever and always is durian. That's just, it's literally just the most incredible fruit there is. And it also happens to be my most favorite tree. The trees themselves are just amazing, just exquisite, regal, beautiful, exotic, just the most wild looking trees and fruits. It's just out of this world. Cool. And of course, the fruits themselves are just mind-blowingly good.
For the record, my wife's least favorite fruit on the planet is the durian. I'm not allowed to bring them in the house. They smell.
Oh, yeah.
I love them. You either love them or you hate them. But there's a couple other fruits mangosteens,
Yeah.
the abiu. There's some fruits that I never heard of before that are here that are just blow you away. It's the abiu. It's just not coming. We're planting 3 more trees because we like it a lot. The mangosteens, we actually were succeeded in buying them at Costco. But there's a whole bunch of other little fruits I've never had here that he introduced me to. A couple of weeks ago, he came by and he dropped off a couple of mangoes to see if I like to have those grafted onto my mango tree. So it's more than him just saying, I got a great idea. And he actually brings me some fruit and said, how'd you like me to plant this? I eat it. I say yes or no. So he knows a lot of fruits.
So another couple of my favorites are the Champadek and the Champajack. Those are just divine. The meringue is incredible. Definitely mangosteens are our favorite. Lychees, mangoes are definitely top on my list. Big fan of mangoes, and I'm so excited about all these new mango varieties that we're introducing to Maui and getting them spread out on Maui and Child from the Gary Zill collection in Florida. I've tried a couple of them. They're exquisite, and the best ones are yet to come. So these are all new varieties I haven't even tried yet. Like I said, there's a bunch of new fruits that we're propagating. We're going to make them available, but they are not available yet. I got to eat some chupa chupa the other day, and those were excellent in an unusual way, but I really enjoyed them. So I'm a big fan of a lot of fruits and diversity, but yeah, there's definitely a handful of fruits that are my favorite. Well, so some of these new varieties like sugarloaf, sweet tart, lemon zest, popukale, cotton candy, sassy love, cack, Pickering, yeah, orange sherbet. There's a whole bunch that are supposed to be just like mind-blowingly good that aren't being grown here yet. So some very exciting things to look forward to in the future. Yeah, so where I see NatureWorks going in the next 5 to 10 years is expanding our landscape company to be able to be available and have enough manpower to do more installations, but also to help people maintain the installations that we've done and are working on. But also, like I mentioned, like to have a more permanent location for the nursery where we can also create a botanical garden style planting of all the different kinds of fruits and all different varieties, so that we can have the public come and see the trees, try the fruit, because that's one of the big issues with a lot of these new fruits is people read the name on a piece of paper or look it up online, and it's like they don't get to interact with it. They don't get to see it. They don't get to smell it and taste it. So we want to make a place where people can come and experience that and buy a tree. And if they don't have the resources or skill or whatever to then go and plant, we can help you guys with that as well. So I really want to NatureWorks become like a bigger thing, more than a nursery, more than a landscape company, like a whole big experience where people can come and connect with nature on a whole new level and really be immersed and get excited and yeah, be involved and learn. You could start by checking us out on the web, natureworksnursery.com. You're welcome to give us a call or stop in our nursery. We're open Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at the moment, 10 to 4. And we will be opening more days of the week, but for now it's just 3 days a week. Please come by, come meet our crew. If you'd like to make an appointment with me specifically, call our nursery phone. Nursery is 808-495-9605. So that's the number you want to call if you have specific questions about what we have, when we're open, or if you want to make an appointment with me to come do a consultation on your property.